Well, you may have a strong opinion about whether children should or should not be vaccinated against measles, but what about you, the adult? Medical professionals say you're most at risk in this latest outbreak, so we went in search of answers on how you can protect your family and what you should do right now.
The growing measles outbreak.
There's so much talk about the measles.
4 more possible cases.
The Super Bowl and the battle off the field against the outbreak of measles.
Parents need to have some measure of choice in things as well.
There is every reason to get vaccinated.
Some people just don't want to hear the correct information.
Can you still die from it?
Concern now growing about the latest measles outbreak, which started at Disneyland in December and traced to Kern County a week ago after a man who later tested positive for the illness stopped at a McDonald's in Delano.
If this happens, I mean, your office goes into immediate response, right?
Dr. Claudia Jonah with Kern County Public Health says this outbreak is different.
That individual who was diagnosed with measles had had one vaccine, but had not had a second one.
And that's the problem facing many people born before 1978 and after 1958 who think they're immune, but they're really not.
They had no reason to think they would get sick with measles, but in fact they didn't have proper full protection.
She says some adults may not have received the second vaccine as a child, or she believes some people have built up immunities to their original immunization.
And it seems like those are showing up as being the people who, unfortunately, they get exposed and they're the ones coming down with disease.
In fact, of all the current cases in California, 60% are adults aged 20 to 59. The outbreak now spanning 11 counties and 2 major Southern California communities.
Parents weighing the pros and cons of vaccinating their kids.
It's shining a light on what's called the anti-vaxxer movement, encouraging more parents to opt out of vaccinating their children over fears of side effects.
Without a doubt in my mind, I believe vaccinations triggered Evan's autism.
Doctors like Benjamin Haas say it's simple. Vaccines are safe.
And I believe there's absolutely no evidence that immunizations cause autism. I think immunizations are the best way to protect yourself, your family, your friends, and your community from outbreaks of things like the measles.
The measles date back as far as the 1600s, but made its greatest impact in America around the turn of the century and again in the 1950s.
Their boys got the measles.
Back then, the disease had a high fatality rate until the first vaccine was released in the 1960s.
When there became an effective vaccine for measles, that just went to nil.
You're doing the shot.
Yes, I am.
Nice to meet you.
And it's simple to protect yourself. To demonstrate, I rolled up my sleeve and received an MMR booster shot. It took only a few minutes, and Dr. Haas says even if I did have a second measles vaccine as a child, it wouldn't hurt to have another.
Getting another booster is not going to do any harm whatsoever.
As healthcare workers hope to get ahead of this growing outbreak.
And Hollywood is getting involved.